Hello and welcome to the Rays of Hope program brought to you by the Purchase Area Sexual Assault and Child Advocacy Center. I'm your host today, Mary Foley, and I'm so glad that you've joined us. Our motto at the Purchase Area Sexual Assault Center is that we provide rays of hope. And our most favorite time of the year is when we can come to you, the viewer, and talk to you about a season of hope and reflect on our year at the center and those that we serve. And so today you're going to be seeing a variety of guests, and they are the staff members of our center, and they are going to be sharing with you what hope means to them, what it's meant throughout the year, and hopefully by the time you leave us today, you will also have a renewed sense of hope. So we're going to get right to the program. Today I'd like to welcome Teresa Morris, Lori Brown, and LeAnne Garland, all therapists at the Purchase Area Sexual Assault Center. So glad to have you all today.
Thanks.
Well, it has been an exciting year for our center. We have had lots of changes and ups and downs, as every year brings with it. And so for the clinical team, this has really been a year of milestones as well as hope. So I'd like to start with you, Lori. You're the director of the clinical program. Just give us an idea of some of those milestones that you've experienced with the team this year.
Well, this last year has been our first full year of operating as the Child Advocacy Center for the region.
Yes.
So that's been, an exciting year for us.
Mm-hmm.
That meant a lot of new and expanded services for us. With that, we've had some wonderful training opportunities this last year. The staff has been able to train with some of the most I think world-renowned leaders in the field of trauma, in the field of working with children who have experienced trauma. So that's been very exciting for our staff.
So now I'm going to pause you here because I want you to share with the viewer just what a big deal that really is. So when you say world-renowned, we really are talking about the two leading trauma or three leading trauma experts in the world. And when you say you've had an opportunity to train with them, what does that mean for this community? Well,
it means that the clients that we serve will continue to get the most effective, up-to-date types of services available. Our clinical department was accepted into a learning community with again, what I think most would consider the leading expert in the trauma field, John Briere. And so we have gone and trained with him and his staff in putting together a new treatment protocol for working with children and adolescents who have experienced complex trauma.
Wow.
So with that, we bring new knowledge and training to share with the clients and the families that we're working with.
And so we were one of 20 agencies chosen nationwide, and this will be an ongoing working relationship with Dr. Briere and his staff.
It's a 2-year project, and so not only are we gaining from their experience and knowledge, but we're also a very active part in participating in that and sharing what we're doing in our work with clients and how that can also benefit and continue to improve this treatment approach.
That it really is phenomenal, and it does bring hope, I think, for families that have found themselves in need of our services to know that they have that expert care. And so, Teresa, I'm going to let you speak a bit as well. You've also trained under probably that second camp or that leading group. Tell the viewer what you have done this year.
Well, this year I spent some time training with Dr. Bessel Vanderkolk and his staff out of Boston, Massachusetts. They run the trauma center there, and he's done a lot of research and training over the last couple of years and continues to do so on the effects of trauma and the body and ways to deal with that. So I have gone through, it was a 6-month training altogether on trauma-sensitive yoga and providing that to the children and the adult clients that we see at our center.
Well, that's phenomenal. Yes, Lori.
And this group that Teresa went and trained with really has been on the forefront in the trauma field on recognizing the importance of understanding the effects of trauma on the body and how to incorporate effective treatment approaches.
And so the team, actually we're one therapist short, she'll be appearing on another segment, but the team has then been taking that information and integrating it and using it with our population, and I do think that that provides hope, just so that folks know we're here, there's hope in that, and that expert training is available. But before we use all our time up, I really want to first thank the Paducah McCracken County United Way, who helped fund those training opportunities and for our center. And I also then want to move the focus, if we could, to the clients and the hope that you all are able to provide in direct service. And I'm not sure what order you'd like to start in, but I just want you to focus now. What gives you hope about this season and the work you do? What do you have to share?
Well, I brought an ornament here that I wanted to talk about. We had our annual Christmas party last year, and every year we do the party and we do a tree of hope, which is something that the clients and the staff members and the volunteers participate in hanging ornaments on the tree in their hopes for the upcoming years. And I brought this ornament because I thought it was significant. I hung this ornament on the tree this year. It was made by a client whom I worked with last year, and for the past 2 years she's wanted to hang the ornament on the tree at the party, but really has just not felt comfortable and able yet to attend that function. This is a person who I think, like many of the people that we work with, has been hurt really badly by others from a very young age on. And so for her, she's still dealing with and learning how to overcome the effects of that abuse and early trauma that she experienced throughout her life. And I don't know how well you can see it, but on the ornament it says peace around the world. And so this is a person who has been hurt so badly, who has not had much opportunity to really experience what peace in the world is like. But despite all of that, she is still able to hope for that. And so that's what really gives me hope, is that we work with people who have been hurt and traumatized in really the worst way. You know, for someone to experience hurt and pain at the hands of someone else, that's really like nothing else. But it's always amazing, I think, for all of us, and I think it's really what makes our job so rewarding, is that despite all of that, they are still going and still working towards finding that peace and that health and recovery that they so much deserve. So.
Well, and that hope for healing does give others hope. LeAnne, what about you?
I also brought an ornament that came from our Christmas ceremony that we do. This client in particular had talked about how the stars together would help bring her through. And she said something that really kind of stood out to me, was she said when it was the darkest, that's when the stars shine the brightest. And so that really meant a lot to me, because it really, you know, we see those clients in the darkest, and we help them to point out those stars, to show them those aspects where they can keep going, to where, you know, they can heal. And so that's what really brings me hope.
Well, and this particular client talked about how those stars were strung together, and how those people were important in that process, and family, and all those different aspects. And so to be working with those individuals and help them identify those support systems, I'm certain also is it brings hope to me, I know, and I'm certain for you all that see them directly every day, hope as well. Anything else you want to add about that ornament? No, I can't. Okay. Well, you said it perfectly. I just didn't want to take the words from you. Teresa, what about you?
I think exactly what you were just saying is the connection that we see people make with their family, you know, and or with others in their life, and how healing that can be for some people. To me, that really brings a lot of hope. The same client that brought the ornament that LeAnne has, you know, 2 years ago, her family was not real involved in her healing process, and this year her mother helped her decide what to say about the stars and helped her pick out the ornament. And just seeing how much that connection with her family has made a difference in her healing has been really hopeful for me to see. But not just her, all of our clients making those connections with people outside of their therapy has been really beneficial and brings a lot of hope.
I was just going to add, you know, my hope is that this client will be able to hang this ornament on the tree herself one day, and that the clients that we're already working with will continue to move towards their goals. And for those that are out there that may still need help, that they will find the help that they need.
Well, I think that's a perfect place for us to end today. You all said it very well, and thank you so much for being here, for sharing your hope with me, for sharing your hope with the viewer. I get to see it every day when I see the work that you do, but to let the viewer have a sneak peek into the fact that on the other side of this trauma there is hope and there is healing. That is what this season is about, and it's what this show's about. So thank you for joining us. Please stay with us. We have more just ahead. Hello and welcome back to the Rays of Hope program brought to you by the Purchase Area Sexual Assault and Child Advocacy Center. I'm Mary Foley and so excited that you've joined us for today's program as we reflect on this year and we especially highlight the theme of hope. With us in this segment, we have what we call at the center the support staff or the administrative staff, and these are ladies that most people don't get to see as often as I would like, and so I'm certainly glad that you're going to get to meet them today. Welcome to all three of you. I'm going to let you all introduce yourself and say what you do at the center.
I'm Barbara Duber. I'm the office manager.
Okay.
I'm LaQuita Kelly, and I'm the accountant.
Welcome.
I'm Lynn Russell, and I'm the Director of Volunteers and the Medical Unit Coordinator.
Well, Lynn, the viewers probably have seen you more often than these other two, but I'm so glad that you all are here. Barbara, you are the individual that most folks get to speak with upon their first contact with the center if they're calling to schedule just an appointment. And so we and these two ladies sitting next to you have tagged you as the one that's going to get to go first. And so you are going to be talking with us specifically about hope today. So I'm just going to let you talk about what you have for us today.
Okay. Well, you know, we had talked at the Christmas party the other night about what the word hope means, and the staff and the clients as well. And we had a lot of good answers. I found a good description here of hope that I think really pertains to what the therapists do for the clients. And it starts with hope is the anticipation of an event or an occurrence. Our own individual hopes are our own desires or could be considered our wish for the future. Hope can give us a feeling of optimism when we are feeling discouraged. Hope is one of the prime differences between successful people and those who can only see failure. Successful people have hope because they can clearly see their goals. People who only see failure have no hope because they see no light, they set no goals, and they see nothing accomplished. Wow. And I think that really says to me what the therapists do. They help clients to set goals and to accomplish their recovery.
Well, and I think you bring up an excellent point, Barbara, just in that, like that quote says, that they can see the light. They can see clearly that there could be the hope for something different, a way to feel better, be better than when they first came. And so you get to see clients when they first come, and then you have the luxury oftentimes of seeing them the very last time that they come in.
Right.
Could you briefly just, what is that like for you? Not as the therapist, but as the office manager, what is that like to
Well,
see
it's
change?
great to be able to see, and you actually can see where they're making progress and they are recovering, and it's wonderful for me.
So I'm certain that that is hope for you. Thank you for sharing. LaQuita, you have a very different role at the center in terms of what we would consider more behind the scenes. You serve the center as the accountant, and so each year, I'll be honest with the viewer, you first say, oh, I don't really know that I have anything to share, and then each year you come up with something wonderful to share. So this year, what has brought hope to you in your role?
In my role, hope has came in knowing that the center has had some needs and requests, and we put it out there, we give it to the community, and then the community steps up and comes through when we least expect it. We had a need for a workstation that probably would have cost us, I'm going to say, anywhere from $2,500 to $3,500 just to put it in there. And we had a men's group from Trinity United Methodist Church. Men's group came in, built the station, spent their weekends coming in, doing it, and it is awesome.
It is beautiful.
It is, and everybody that comes into the center says, oh man, that's beautiful. I wouldn't have never imagined anything like that, and so it's been awesome to watch it be built, watch the supplies come in, and we not have to pay any more than maybe $77 out of the whole amount of money that was
given.
So it's been well worth it.
And our center has so expanded, that workstation was so critical for us. And you're right, they did come on their own time. What else?
And then our volunteer department had sent out a request for supplies and things like office supplies, personal items that might have been needed. And we walk in today and there's two big large boxes sitting there waiting to be opened, and it had, office supplies and beauty supplies and things that we could use for our clients as well. And
they were wrapped
yes.
in Christmas packaging and a bow. It was certainly a Christmas moment, but you're right.
And we've had, this year we had, was it St. Paul Lutheran came in and gave us a check for $4,500 that we didn't even ask for. They knew our need, they knew what we needed, and they just brought it. And it's been awesome just to watch how the community has stepped up and done their part to help us to be able to provide the services that our clients need.
And you and I get to have that wonderful, bittersweet relationship of managing a budget, and I think every viewer can relate to what that's like to do that with their own household budget. When you have more need than you have income, or the month seems longer than it should be. And so to see that the needs are met throughout the year, I will agree with you there. There are times when that hope seems more real than others, and it certainly has been the case this year with all the expanding and the growing that we've had.
Yes, it has.
Anything else you'd like to share?
No, that's about it.
That's hope for you.
Yes.
Thank you. Lynn, what about you? You are the volunteer director, the medical unit coordinator. What has given you hope this year?
The hope that I've seen this year is seeing the volunteers come in that want to reach out and to help others. We've had a lull in volunteers, but the ones that are coming forward are ones that are reaching out. They want to be a source of hope. They want to be a ray of hope. And there's a quote by Soren Kierkegaard that says, "Hope is passion for all things possible." And that's what I'm seeing in the volunteers as they step forward, and even some of the ones that we still have.
Well, and Lynn, talking about hope is the passion for all things possible, I mean, we all, hope for all of us would be that the center wasn't needed, that there was no such thing as child abuse, no such thing as sexual violence. And we know that the progress that we've made to date, 30 years ago there weren't even centers like ours because there wasn't an acknowledgement that this was a problem. 30 years later, there's not only an acknowledgement of a problem, but there are laws that protect victims and services that are provided by the state. And so to know that you're providing those services and that people give of their time, their energy, their skills to come and assist, you get to see that firsthand as the volunteer director. Is there any one thing that a volunteer has said to you that stands out to light hope in your heart that might also light hope in the viewer's heart?
They want to make a difference. And when they come in and say, I just want to help, I want to make a difference in this world, I want to give back. Whether, some of them are survivors, others are not, but they still feel that they've been blessed and they want to give back. And that's a source of hope for me.
Well, and I'm thinking right now for viewers that might be watching that might think, I would like to give back. How would they do that?
Contact the center. I'd be glad to talk with them, or anybody on staff could talk with them a little bit about it. And we'll go from there.
And the number is there on the screen. They can call it 534-4422. And just an overview, is it pretty easy to work with their schedules and things like that?
We are very flexible with the schedules. We work around work schedules. We work around family schedules, children's schedules. There is a 40-hour required training, which we do through the center. Then a background check and an application. And other than that,
they're good to go.
The biggest thing is just want to be that source of hope, that ray of hope.
Do you all remember, we just have a couple more minutes left in this segment, do you remember, we've referenced several times in the show already, the Trim the Tree program that we do where we decorate the center and the tree with the clients. Do you remember the evening when there was a volunteer that talked about a specific ornament and the ornament had a broken wing? Who would like to share as we exit together what that was like?
The ornament she brought in was a little silver angel, and she had found it at a consignment shop. And when she went to pay for the ornament, the lady at the counter said, "Oh no, you can just go ahead and take that one. It's broken. We're not going to charge you anything for that. Nobody's going to want it." And to her, that spoke volumes, because as a survivor, she knew herself that sometimes that's the way they feel. Nobody's going to care. Nobody's going to want me. Nobody's going, I'm worthless. So she took that little angel home and taped up the wing and brought it back in for the tree, because she said, we were there to help those with the broken wings, to mend and to be whole again.
And it just doesn't get much better than that. And so thank you, even though you're often behind the scenes, thank you for all that you do to mend those broken wings and to provide that hope. And that is certainly the message we want to send to you today, that there is hope and there is healing. We will be back with more just ahead. Hello and welcome back to the Rays of Hope program. I'm your host today, Mary Foley. And if you're just now joining us, this is our Season of Hope show where we reflect on the year and we talk to the staff about what hope means to them. And this particular segment, our last segment, we do have Kelli Morrow and Amberly Larkins. And Kelli, you are one of our therapists. Amberly, you are a victim advocate. Welcome to both of you. You all, in a nutshell, besides working in the Paducah office, also run the Murray-Calloway County Satellite Office. And so that's why you've chosen to be on this segment together today. And you're going to be talking about a specific client. And after talking with you, it's become more and more clear that she represents many clients. And so I'd like to just let you all talk about what about this particular case or person or situation has brought you hope.
I think for me, it represents to me that there is hope that people can get out of abusive situations, that they can recover. For me, she is truly the perfect case of human resiliency and her ability to put things in perspective and move forward in her life, even though for years she was in that abusive home. And I'd like to share a painting that she's done that she agreed could be shown on this program. She did this and explained to me that there are 4 eyes within the eye, and it represents the people who are watching out for her and the people who have impacted her life by showing her that there is hope, that, you know, it doesn't have to be the way it's always been. And if you can see down here at the bottom, there's also a tear, and she says that it's okay to cry, that the tears are okay, and we've talked a lot about that and how the tears can be healing, and she really does believe that. So it's been wonderful just in the short amount of time I've seen her to be able to see that, you know, she can work through this pain and that there is hope and there's a light at the end of the tunnel for her.
Well, Kelli, before you put that painting down, you know, we often talk at the center that the therapist and in some situations the advocate or the volunteers serve as a container almost to hold pain for people while they're able, so that they are able to sort through it, process through it until they're ready to put it away. And so for her, you have certainly been that, it sounds like. For you personally, as a therapist, you've shared her story of hope, but what has it meant for you to be that container for somebody that's obviously able to express themselves so dynamically?
I think it's amazing for me to be able to see that there is something more out there. I think when you hear about all the negative things and all the bad things that happen, it can really beat you down and you can get very pessimistic about what the future does hold. But to see that, you know, people can heal and they can achieve their dreams and everything, it means a lot to me.
I can imagine. Amberly, you are also assisting this individual through advocacy. And so what do you have to share with us today?
I have a poem that she wrote specifically actually for this show, and she was going to pick one of her own. She's very creative, an artist clearly. She writes songs, she writes poetry, and she shared some of those with me, but she, in sitting down and trying to get one for the show, she came up with this one. It came to her. So I'm going to share her poem, and it's called Hope. And she writes, "Sometimes life isn't always what we expect. It comes on the side roads, carved paths and crooked streets. Just look at me the next time you see. Life is hard to live, but overcome the past, even if you're forced to grow up fast.
Sad days, hard moments, secret tears, no involvement. Staying strong is hard, but staying alive is even harder. Quote, life ain't about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning to dance in the rain. End quote. If you see somebody without a smile, give them yours. The moments pass slow, but when you let go, you'll realize that, quote, forgiveness means giving up the hope that the past will be different. Tomorrow holds your future. Yesterday held the past. Today holds the present. But life isn't about what happens yesterday. It's about living your life. Hard times will come and go, but only you are in control. Your happiness depends on your mindset. And she wrote that poem, and then she also collects quotes that she likes and that inspire her, and she wanted me to share this quote that she likes. And I think it just speaks to the, like Kelly said, the resiliency of this young woman to have gone through the things that she's been put through, some terrible things over many years, and still have this optimism and this hope for life and this hope for a future. And also to go on to encourage other people to be optimistic and to have hope is inspiring for me. And one of the quotes she really likes is, as we grow up, we learn that even the one person that wasn't supposed to let us down probably will. You'll have your heart broken, probably more than once, and it's harder every time. You'll break some hearts too, so remember how it felt when someone broke yours. You'll fight with your best friend and maybe even fall in love with them. You'll blame a new love for things as an old one did. You'll cry because time is passing too fast, and you'll eventually lose someone close to you. So take too many pictures, laugh too much, and love like you've never been hurt, because every 60 seconds you spend angry or upset is a minute of happiness you'll never get back.
Wow. And that is why we are here today. Thank you both for coming, for being her voice, and for sharing her optimism and hope with us. And thank you so much for joining us for another edition of Rays of Hope. I hope that you have come away feeling more hopeful than you were when you joined us. I do want to say that 2 staff members and 1 intern were unable to be here today. Our education department is in training, but they wanted us to share that what brings hope to them is the 2,000 students that they have served this month alone that now know that there is hope and there can be a life without abuse. Thank you so much for joining us, and on behalf of our staff, volunteers, and board of directors, we wish you a wonderful holiday season.